Today we talk about 10 things they don't tell you about landscape photography. Hey everybody, my name is Tom, Photo Tom here on YouTube. This channel is all about landscape photography and travel photography. So if you're interested in this kind of topics and maybe related videos, make sure to subscribe for more vlogs and similar videos. So let's talk about 10 things they don't tell you about landscape photography. Number 1, you need a lot of gear. I know maybe people are thinking that okay, I'm going to get myself a camera, I have a lens, I can go out and do some landscape photography. But in order to experience landscape photography at its fullest, you need at least 3 lenses, 1 camera, filters. You need polarizer, ND-graded filter. Well, ND-graded not necessarily, but ND filters you also need it. And when you're using ND filters, you'll definitely need ND-graded filters. You need tripod, you need a trigger, you need a backpack, and of course you need the entire hiking gear. So you need a lot of gear if you want to enjoy landscape photography at its fullest. Tip number 2, and this is derived from tip number 1, it's expensive. Well, it's expensive not only because you need a lot of gear, and often people are choosing landscape photography because they are thinking, I will need just 1 camera, 1 lens, and 1 small backpack, and that will do it. But they don't think about the entire gear, and after that, they don't think about the travels that they're going to do, because yes, you can be born near the mountains. For example, the area where I live is located near the mountains. In a maximum of 1 hour drive, I am at the foot of the 2 mountain ranges. So this is very useful. But it doesn't matter if you're born or not near the mountains. Sooner or later, you'll have to go out of your bubble and explore other places, and this takes money. If you're going to visit places that are worth photographing from a landscape photography point, they're not cheap places. It's not cheap to go to Norway, to Iceland, to Faroe Islands, to the Dolomites, to Tuscany. It's not cheap. The third thing they don't tell you is that nobody will hire you directly. Nobody will contact you and say, hey there, I need to have some photos from that location at sunrise, and I need unique photos. You just go up there and take those photos. Nobody will contact you telling you, I need to photograph this national park. Nobody. I mean, there are rare occasions when this happens, but usually it's a project and they're hiring someone, but hiring one person from millions of landscape photographers, because let's face it, everybody is doing landscape photography. Instagram is full of landscape photography. It's not that people are getting hired to photograph locations in terms of landscape photography. And here comes number 4, selling your landscape photos. It's really hard. And this is, as I told you, derived from the third thing that nobody tells you. Because nobody will call you or contact you to buy your photos. You have to put your photos out there and hope your photos will be bought. And you have options like selling your photos digitally. This means stock websites, and the commission is really, really low. I mean, right now it's almost like a joke to do stock photography, but you already have the portfolio, for those of you that have the portfolio. But if you don't have a portfolio already built on stock websites, I don't know if I would do it, if I would have to start over. And you also have the chance to sell your photos on print on demand. And print on demand can be posters, pictures to hang on your wall, or t-shirts or mugs or whatever. But in order to sell that, you need a really big audience to promote your product. For example, I also have my Fine America print shop. So if you want to support me on this channel, you can buy a print or a picture to hang on your wall with my photos. The link is in the description of this video. You can go there and purchase that. But you need a really huge audience to be able to make a living selling your photos like this. You want to know a joke? the way a landscape photographer can make a lot of money, for sure, is to sell his gear. That's it. I hope this joke is just a joke, but number 5, the fifth thing they don't tell you is that you need to be physically fit. A lot of people that are doing landscape photography are doing this because they enjoy nature or the idea of nature. This is a completely different thing. To actually be in nature and to love the idea to be in nature, because yes, you can start doing landscape photography, doing sunrises or sunsets on your local park, but that's only for beginners. When you move up next level, you go up in the mountains, and up in the mountains, this means that you need to carry your gear for longer distances. You need to go places. You need to be places. So you need to be physically fit at the minimum level, and you need a strong back to carry all that gear. And here comes the 6th thing they don't tell you, and that is you will walk in the dark. And a bonus to this one, if you want to do this professionally, you will often, over 90% of the cases, walk alone in the dark. It sounds like a horror movie or a horror game, Alone in the Dark, but that's the reality. I know everyone is advising you should never try to hike alone. Well, if you're doing this for a living, you need to hike alone, because you're hiking during the week. You don't have friends to come with you, and even if you do have friends, I mean, they don't want to come with you to watch you take photos. They just want to join you and enjoy nature. So at least this is my life. I'm hiking alone in the Carpathians. It's life. This is life. And people often ask me if I'm not afraid of wild animals, and especially bears, because in the Carpathians we have bears. We have lots of bears. It's a reality. I can't say that I'm afraid. I'm more aware of their existence, and I try to hike according to this knowledge that they are present over there. I had numerous occasions when I smelled the bear or I heard loud cracks in the forest, and these are things that are happening. These are the reality. But I make noise, and I try to be careful. Until now, nothing bad happened, and I hope this will continue to be the case. The 7th thing they don't tell you is that the backpack and the tripod, it's going to cost you almost like a decent camera. So there's going to be people that their entire gear will not cost as much as your backpack and your tripod, because a good backpack for landscape photography, it's about 500 euros, including everything, all the accessories. And a good tripod is a minimum of something like this, 400 or 500 euros, including the tripod's head. And you can even go higher than that. The 8th thing they don't tell you about landscape photography is that the learning curve is pretty long. Now you may think, and I had participants, remember that I'm doing workshops from 2012. I'm a full-time landscape photographer from 2009. From 2012 until now, I had hundreds of participants, and I got to know a lot of people. And I'm seeing this trend where people think that, okay, now I know it's f8 or f11, ISO 100, I put the camera on the tripod, and that's it. And it's not. Because what they are lacking, because of their jobs, because photography is just a hobby for them, they are lacking the field experience. They're not getting out enough to master this craft, to really understand and to really learn landscape photography. Because you may know all the theory in the world about photography. If you're not actually doing it, you will know nothing about photography. This is my personal opinion. You You can trash me in comments, but this is my personal opinion. If you're just watching YouTube videos and you're not going outside photographing, you're not a photographer. You are a person that enjoys watching photography related videos, and that's it. Number 9, sometimes you will hike for nothing. And this is a thing that in the beginning I wasn't even thinking about. What do you mean we're going to go up there and we're not going to do anything? Why we're going up there? Well, now I understand after more than 10 years of doing this. When you go into the mountains, the weather is really unpredictable. You can have a weather forecast, but this can change in a minute. Or you simply don't have the best light, and you just have to deal with it. You have to do some photos, do the best you can, pack your gear up, and return another time. And this is called patience and perseverance, 2 of the most important qualities of a landscape photographer. Number 10, your state of mind. This is something that I never heard any landscape photographer talking about publicly, but your state of mind, sometimes it's more important than the actual gear that you're having with you. And this is a hard thing to explain, but I will give you a few situations. Let's say you think, okay, I'm going to go to a certain location. You buy the plane tickets, you invest the money, you prepare yourself, you go there, and there's nothing. You're staying there for 4 days, and you think you're going to do those amazing sunrises and sunsets and whatever, and there's a fog for 4 days. You don't see anything. And this sometimes puts you to the ground. I mean, I had participants to my workshops, for example, on a mountain. It's called Chahlo Mountain, and often there is fog up there. And I had participants, because we had 3 days of fog, they didn't exit the chalet because they came there with the idea that they're going to photograph something, and that something isn't there. So their state of mind, it's vanishing in thin air because they are expecting something that it's not happening, and it's affecting their state of mind. Another thing would be to go on a location and not let yourself accommodate with the location. Usually when you visit a new place that is completely new to you as landscape, if you are rushing in and you're starting to photograph right ahead, you're not trying to dig into the place, you're going to end up photographing a lot in places that maybe they're not worth photographing. And this is the case that I noticed with the Dolomites. When people arrived for the first time in the Dolomites, I mean, they're photographing. I had a person in 24 hours filled a 64 gigabytes card. I mean, it's something that you need to accept. Usually, a way out of this, if you're not experienced enough to calm yourself down and start looking for compositions, a way out of this is to come back another time. So double the money, double the fun. And so your state of mind, I think, is very important to have a successful landscape photography trip. Now, those were the 10 things that I wanted to tell you that I think nobody tells you. If you have something to add, just use the comment section below. Don't forget that you can support me and this channel by buying a print, a picture to hang on your wall. The link is in the description of this video. And until next time, keep on photographing, because it's the only way to get better. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.